Good afternoon, Wrestling Inc. Get up, get going. It is me, your managing editor of WrestlingInc.com, Nick Hausman, joined here as I am every Tuesday to get tickled and talk the pro wrestling news of the past 24 hours with our good friend, Second City ETC's own EJ Cameron. EJ, welcome back to the Wrestling Inc. Daily.
What up, Nick? It's good to be back. Another week, another day above ground, and we're here.
Yeah, another day above ground is a good day. It's an old song by the Impossibles from Austin, Texas. Hey, we got a great show here for you today. Before we get to it, though, I want to send our best out to Matt Tremont. We had Matt on last week to talk about his big death match against Onita. And I don't know if you've seen any videos or GIFs from what happened at the ballpark. Massive explosions, tons of fireworks, barbed wire. Matt is currently in the hospital with severe burns, and just want to send our best out to Matt Tremont, the bulldozer. I guess do what you love, and this man loves being blown up, EJ.
You know what? Yes, best wishes, speedy recovery, and be careful.
Yeah, maybe don't roll on to landmines covered in barbed wire. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here, right?
I don't know. It's like, hey, Doc, it hurts when I do this. Well, don't do that.
So, Matt, sending you our absolute best, man. Yeah, that was a crazy match. If you haven't checked it out yet, IWTV, go support Matt and Onita. And that match actually comes up in our interview here today. Just a little while ago, I wrapped up talking to Game Changer Wrestling owner Brett Lauderdale. Brett was at the Onita Tremont match, so we're going to talk a little bit about the death match. But also we're going to talk about GCW's relationship with Ring of Honor, all the free agents that are out there, GCW's expansion plans. I mean, there's just a lot to get into with Brett, and I think you guys are really going to enjoy the conversation we laid out today, EJ.
It's going to be a big old meat sandwich.
Oh, yeah, big meat sandwich. And then at the end of the show for everybody, and by the way, also with the Brett Lauderdale interview, we usually debut him in video form right after the daily, but it's an audio-only interview. So my video team is having to clean it up. We're going to try to get it out as soon as possible. I'm hoping by tonight, but maybe at the latest early tomorrow morning. But it's an audio-only interview, so listen to it here. Go download the Wrestling Inc. Daily over on your preferred podcast platform.
Yeah, and when the video comes out, you watch it. It comes out when it comes out.
Yeah, exactly. And then, of course, the chat room is open. You could jump in while we talk the news in a little bit and talk along with us. At the end of the show for everybody, we're going to dive into the mailbag. We're going to look at The Miz, who was, spoiler alert, eliminated from Dancing with the Stars last night. I have some thoughts on it. So we'll talk about that. And also, of course, Jason Pock, who knows me so well, Curse of Oak Island tonight. Is this the season, Nick? They find the treasure. Here's the truth, Jason. The treasure was the friendship we had this whole time, or was the friendship we found along the way? Whatever.
Of course it is.
So that little treasure is going to be found here today on the Daily as we all find our friendship. All right, with that, let's get to it. News you can use, news that will leave a bruise. Last night on Monday Night Raw, Kevin Owens, he interrupted an in-ring segment with Big E, number one contender Seth Rollins. It was done to be setting up a non-title main event between Owens and E. During the promo, Owens talked about how he gives all he can in the ring. While he can't remember the last time it all worked out for him, he's going to continue to give it his all, whether it's for 3 more months or 3 more years. And it's believed that particular line was a reference to Kevin Owens. And when his contract with WWE expires in 3 months, maybe he doesn't resign, I guess is the implication. Now, his pro wrestling future's been up in the air ever since it was revealed that his current WWE contract is set to expire on January 31st. And on a related note, the segment with Owens, Rollins, and E included an argument over who is the better face of Monday Night Raw, with Big E delivering a line where he said there can only be one face of Monday Night Raw. This isn't Mount Rushmore, which has a lot of fans speculating this has been a reference to the PWG stable that Owens was in with Adam Cole and the Young Bucks shortly before he signed with WWE. We noted back in September how all of those people, Owens and the Bucks, had used the Mount Rushmore references on Twitter, potentially teasing the leap. And, of course, in the end, Big E beat Kevin Owens in the main event with Owens begging for another title match, which we don't know if he'll get. What do you think of the latest turn of the page here with Kevin Owens?
Let me tell you what I think, Nick. I think they're using the internet to create buzz. I think they know that we know his contract expires in 3 months. So they're using that to like, okay, let's be a bit more tongue in cheek, which is something I've always wanted with WWE. I wanted them to kind of use the internet more to be like, why don't you use that in your storylines so you get more people to be like, wait, is this real or what are they saying? What's the subtext here? And I
like I see a lot of people like Doom Tribe T here saying the Raw promos are scripted, approved by WWE. So why was this allowed? You're saying you think that this is them wisely. I don't know that these guys did go out there, maybe add a little flavor to the script they were given backstage, or maybe emphasize lines that maybe Vince didn't get when they were putting the promos together,
Yeah, I'm sure Vince didn't catch it, but I'm sure somebody knew it was coming. Together, they knew it was coming. And that's why they're very wink, wink, nudge, nudge, especially New Day. New Day's always been about kind of calling out what's there and breaking the fourth wall a bit. And I think as they all separate, it's happening more and more. I feel like this is a part of it.
Fair. Yeah. I love Big E's line to Otis where he's like, why'd you change your face? That was really good.
Man, Otis, every time I watch Otis, I'm like, he should have been the champion. He was the Money in the Bank.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on with Otis. But with Owens, back to Owens. Yeah. I mean, for them to come out there, kind of lean into this, obviously, intentionally stoking the fires here. Which way do you think this is leaning in your gut? MCAS says he's going to stay in WWE. That's confirmed. But others say that maybe this means he's going to AEW. Well, how do you feel about it, EJ?
I would see him staying in WWE. His children love WWE. I think he's more about security at this point. I can see him doing it. His children love watching. His family loves it. It's a big spectacle. He's making probably the best money he's going to make. I could see him sticking around and doing it.
I think there's definitely a very valid argument there. I mean, it's hard to ignore. The guy does seem like a little bored, right, with his role. I don't, if there's a spot for you over there right now in AEW and there's a ticket to ride and you're actually going to get a push, like you're going to be a focused player. I mean, I like I've said a lot of times, I think you take the ticket to ride, man. Like worst case scenario, you go over there, you flex a little bit, you show your value. And you increase yourself for the next time around when you come back to WWE. Best case scenario, you jump while the jumping's good. You get in before they go IPO, and you ride this AEW thing in a way where you could maybe be, one of the people getting in on the ground floor kind of deal.
But Kevin Owens, he's a world champion there at WWE. I mean, it's happened before. I get that he seems bored, but hey, if he can wrestle Shane McMahon at WrestleMania and jump off of a thing and get whatever crazy payday he got to do that and be on the cups and stuff. If he's looking for that sort of job security, I could see him sticking it out, having the job. And maybe out of this boredom, or maybe this is the genesis of the new Kevin Owens that's going to be coming down the line. Because now, look at us. We're talking about Kevin Owens.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no. I mean, it's good. Look, it's all very smart. I just don't know that they look at him in this moment on that world champion level. We'll see how he gets used here with Rollins and Big E. I think that Dave Langer here is saying something that has been in my mind. Owens is gone. When are people going to learn? WWE fans said the same things about Moxley and Cole, and we all saw what happened with them. And it does. I agree. There's a certain kind of narrative we're seeing right now. And even with Moxley, we talk about this 3 weeks, 3 months in Mount Rushmore lines. Moxley was the one who said, I think it's time I push all my chips in and go all in, or whatever the thing was. And then boom, I showed up at Double or Nothing, standing on a literal stack of chips. So,
yeah,
I mean, these lines, 3 months out though, man. I mean, Moxley did a lot. Remember how bad Moxley's last 8 weeks were on WWE TV?
But okay, in some aspect, ahead of the game, he was wearing a face mask and he hated germs.
Yes. But there was that period after that where he was like, doing weird jobs and stuff. Oh, no,
Yeah.
he randomly beat EC3 and then EC3 beat him or something like that. But he was getting, boots to the head and the sides of steel. And, I do wonder. I wonder, if this guy is leaving and they're this outspoken about it, and they're this winky about it, what this next couple weeks could look like for Kevin Owens.
But then he's in the main event.
Sure, go. I guess that's the thing is that they're obviously not taking him off of TV right now. They're trying to get their money out of him, which I guess is fine, good. Maybe trying to win it back. Seems like he's on the fence. Maybe it's 3 weeks. Maybe it's 3 months. Maybe he's negotiating in the open. I don't know, EJ.
Maybe he is. Maybe he's flexing a little bit.
So we didn't see AJ Styles on Raw last night. The Observer saying that he's been out the past few weeks with a non-injury medical issue. Now, no details behind that. Of course, last night, Omos came out during the Street Profits versus Dirty Dogs. His distraction was enough to help Ziggler pick up the win for the Dogs. Omos then threw Ford over the barricade. After that, he confronted Raw Tag Champs Riddle and Randy Orton. So AJ Styles, non-injury medical issue, would seem to apply some kind of sickness, I think, for me. If he's not injured, but there's a medical issue, it's taking him off TV. You think?
Yeah, I was going to say maybe he's got another tattoo of another child on his ribs or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Hard not to think of that obvious kind of scenario out there when this kind of verbiage and people mysteriously go missing from TV. That seems to be what it's been in the past,
Yeah. And I could see him being like, "Don't tell anybody that's what it is."
Well, and Omos in this moment is getting to shine by himself without AJ around, and Omos is great. Like there was that report where Vince was ready to split them up, and everyone was like, "No, you got to keep them together." I've kind of enjoyed watching Omos going around and tangoing with 2 men at a time. It's fun to watch.
Ooh, Nick, behave. Yeah. No, I was just about to swear. Excuse me. Omos is very freaking dope. I love him. I love seeing him just out there wrecking people. What if he just shows up and wins the tag championships by himself? That'd be pretty awesome.
I wouldn't put it past him. That seems to be a way that Vince would. He's like, yeah, we could put both these. We could put the tag titles on one man, a singles champion with 2 belts.
And AJ shows up like, "Hey, man."
So we also found out from the Observer that some info about AEW's Battle of the Belts. Apparently, the specials are supposed to be about an hour long. They're inspired by the old Clash of the Champions events that were on free TV. They were also typically an hour and a half long. The specials were originally planned to be longer, but the idea behind these specials was a pay-per-view level card to be on TV. And back when these specials were announced in May, it was reported that TNT is going to be working with Tony Khan on them. So basically, what we know here is it looks like 4 times a year we're going to get some kind of 1 hour blowout special on TNT, maybe on the weekends, something like that, called Clash of the Champions, or called Battle of the Belts.
Yes.
Yes.
It's WWE owns Clash of Champions now.
That's right. Not Clash of Champions. Battle of the Belts.
Shout out to them for keeping the alliteration.
Yeah. It's good. Flows.
Battle of the Belts. Tango for the titles. I like that. I really enjoy that. If it's 4 times a year, it feels special. That can be their big 4. That is a very specific thing that people always tune into to check out. Absolutely. Can't wait.
Now, and the thing is, the Battle of the Belts, is this just something where it's the battle for the AEW belts, or is this where we see some New Japan, some maybe the Pure Division title lingering in the wind, and everybody's wondering what to do with it? Does that find a way in here? Moxley has the GCW World Championship. Is this more of could it be a summit for multiple champions coming in and like defending their titles on AEW turf, that kind of deal?
That crossed my mind, like a WCW versus the world type deal for all my old gamers out there. Something like that would be so sick and so fire. I mean, it could only fit but so much in an hour. But if you built it up and you said John Moxley will defend his GCW title belt against so and so in a barbed wire flames and whatever match, that's going to be dope. I don't know if they'll do that on TNT, but that's going to be dope because then you get to see a little bit of the other worlds of wrestling out there. And I think that's going to be the true, what do they call it, the golden door. That's just going to make it even better. I want to see that.
Yeah, I'm. It's exciting time. The battle of the belts. I guess we'll see what they do with it. Well, last thing here before we get to Brett Lauderdale, we dive into the mailbag. Killian Dain, former Killian Dain, now Big Damo. He's got a new look. Used to have kind of the long, kind of stringy hair. Now he's bald and he's tough. Have you had a chance to see the new look of Killian Dain, EJ?
I'm looking it up right now because now I want to know, does he still have the beard?
Oh yeah, you gotta take the whole look in here. I want to see your reaction.
Okay, let's see.
You can all play along at home too right now. If you want to take a moment to look up Big Damo, aka Killian Dain, new bald look.
I'm pulling it up. Come on. Oh. Okay. He looks like Lars Sullivan and George the Animal Steel had a baby.
Yeah, I think that's accurate. I think it's a very accurate way to describe that. Sure.
Because Buddy's still got the body hair. My God.
He's a hairy man, right? That's what I was saying. I want to wait to see the reaction. Very hairy man.
Oof. Yeah, all right.
I wonder where we see Killian Dain wind up. I guess that'll be your question.
I mean, at this point, how dope would it be if he was Nikki Ash's sidekick?
I know, man. They busted up a perfectly usable, good duo there with those two. Yeah, she could have absolutely used a sidekick. Why not use her husband?
Let them be like a comedy duo. Maybe he wouldn't want that, but that could be fun.
Her and Rhea don't feel like a team to me right now.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what it is. I also just feel like Rhea, I really want her to be like a single star. Like it feels to me like you're taking two very good usable singles players off the menu. I don't know with that pairing. I'm a little perplexed by that.
And it's like, what are you going to do? Just run Bianca, Becky for 2 more months? Like what? There's so many people there that when we saw Rhea Ripley live, the audience was going crazy for her.
Love her. Big deal.
Fire. She's dope. Everybody loves her. Nikki Ash, we were believing in her. I wanted to see her be the champion that like sneaks into a win, accidentally falls and gets, and wins things. And they were like, look at this. All right, that's enough. That's enough. The kids liked it. We're done. Like, what? Yeah. They have the talent. Just I don't know.
All right, everybody. Well, thank you for tuning in here, EJ. Thank you for joining me for the news. Brett Lauderdale, thank you for the time. Comment section, stay around. We still got the mailbag here to go. And today's mailbag question is a topic I'm excited to talk about. At WInc Daily, that's the account to follow. If you want to go vote in our daily polls, today's poll question, now that Mike The Miz has been eliminated from Dancing with the Stars, who would you like to see him return and feud with in WWE? John Morrison, Big E, Reggie, or somebody else? We got a little over 100 votes here. 62.2% to John Morrison, 19.8 to Big E, 14.4 to Reggie, 3.6 to somebody else, and no write-ins. Nobody cared to write in any of their thoughts about Mike The Miz. So comment section, feel free to light us up here if you have any thoughts about Mike The Miz. Well, first of all, a return to feud with Morrison seems very obvious and likely, right?
Yeah, they never finished.
Oh, yeah.
It felt like it just stopped. I've been waiting to see more John Morrison. Honestly, secretly, I know this is a little tangent, but I want to see John Morrison, Seth Rollins in a drip-off.
Sure.
But, yeah, he has to go against John Morrison. But my second choice was Reggie.
Yeah, Reggie. All right. I thought Reggie was a fun pick, right? Because I just thought about how he could just drive The Miz crazy. Miz is always at his best when he's like, frazzled and like, maybe he can't get his hands on this guy. I don't know. I don't hate Miz Reggie. He'd be good for Big E though right now too. Like he'd be somebody I think that could just be kind of a bigger kind of mainstream name for Big E to work with as he is kind of building up. Maybe somebody after Rollins, something like that.
Oh yeah, and he's fresh off of Dancing with the Stars too.
Oh yeah, he could.
You kind of get that crossover star power.
Yeah, for sure. Float in, give Big E the rub coming out of Dancing with the Stars. And by the way, and I'm sorry, Samantha, who says I should have gave a spoiler warning. You haven't seen Dancing with the Stars yet. I said up top we're gonna be talking about it. But I've been watching Dancing with the Stars this season. Have you, EJ, been watching Dancing with the Stars?
I've seen snippets of dances. The last one I saw was the Halloween episode.
Oh, did you see the Amon one where he did the
of course
the Us
yes.
dance? Dude, that's some spooky shit. That was really creepy.
That was creepy.
Yeah, I hope Jordan Peele personally reached out to Amon and was like, "Thank you for that in my that interpretation of my film." Anyway, Miz, I don't know. I never pegged him to win, but I think he deserved to go further than he did. I think he was hamstrung by Lynn, one of the judges, who I think just like hates wrestlers and wrestling. I feel like Miz was never really given his due by the judges, and he did a jive as part of the whatever little race they had to do at the end there, and his jive was definitely better than the other jives, and they gave him no points for that jive. That's jive.
Yeah. He was surprisingly good. I didn't expect him to be that good of a dancer.
He's not a great dancer. I guess that's why he didn't win. But he's really engaging. I thought he was a good fit for the show.
But the choreography I've seen him like pick up and do, I was impressed because I didn't expect that from The Miz. Maybe the judge didn't like the real world. Maybe she's a real world old head and was like, I remember you, dude.
I think that, part of Miz's issue is he's kind of a little stiff, right? But, he's used to falling down all the time. And they're like, shake your hips. And he's like, you shake your hips. That's like...
That's the only time he's ever been stiff. It's like that in dancing. Speaking of, this just popped into my head. If he feuds with Big E, I would put T-Bar with him.
Okay. You think T-Bar with The Miz would be... You think those two would work well together?
Well, The Miz should have some sort of muscle behind him, I think. Like, The Miz is viable, but I think he's always better when he has somebody that can help him cheat.
Okay. I could see that. And, hey, I think T-Bar and Damian Priest went out there way over-delivered on Monday Night Raw. Like, what a statement piece that was. That was really very good.
My good. And Gable, too. Shout out to Gable.
Mm-hmm.
Man, yeah.
Yeah, Gable's looking good right now. I mean, there's some people shining in this moment. Yeah, Miz comes back. I think the Morrison thing seems inevitable. And as Polio Del Mar here in our chat, who was here yesterday. Oh, wait, I clicked on the wrong one. And she'll be back on Thursday, by the way. Miz is a great way to keep Big E moving forward. So, yeah, comes back, maybe wraps up business with John Morrison, and then moves into that title picture there after Seth Rollins is done with Big E, and becomes the next thing to kind of help move Big E down the field and build him up as a big star. I'm loving seeing Big E going out at like college football games, and he's doing the Breakfast Club. And I'm like, yeah, they're letting this guy go out there be a star now,
Yeah, he did the intro for Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury.
That's right.
I was like, yo, he's everywhere. I was like, yes. Like, he stepped in and just like, star.
And it's crazy to me because it's like, I get that he's the champion. You want to make him look big and things like that. But, why aren't more people getting this treatment? Like, getting to look like big stars and doing big things. I mean, I'm sure there's got to be a litany of opportunities that people present to WWE where they need ambassadors or talents or whatever. And, it's a work. You don't need to wait for the guy to have the actual title. I think there's some talents that could use from a little bit of this zhuzhing up,
Yeah. They could just go send Finn Balor to Hot 97. Surprise me, just different sort of. That's gonna be wild, but you know what I'm saying?
I think I think Finn Balor on Hot 97 is a great idea. I would love to see.
I think Jeff Hardy would be the best one. People had.
Jeff Hardy would probably be like, he'd probably be too cool. He'd probably be like right at home there. Honestly, I think he probably. You don't think so?
Oh, absolutely. Black people love Jeff Hardy.
That's it. You gave me a look there. I couldn't tell if that was a look of judgment or approval. Yeah,
No,
so Jeff Hardy would be. Yeah, Jeff Hardy would be very relaxed in that space. So.
Man, yeah.
Props here from Headlocked Heel, who said T-Bar and Priest really had a great match last night. They always have great matches for sure. Gruss 512. Can T-Bar please go back to his NXT name? Yeah, it would be Dominic Dijakovic, and I would appreciate that. I think the T-Bar thing is just run its course.
No, I know. The name needs to change. I saw somebody say Austin Theory versus The Miz, but I would put them together.
Yeah, I think Austin Theory as a protege of The Miz, I think that's a great idea, and like props to at least Austin Theory in-ring performance-wise. Like I had, Riddle really came out, grabbed it early, and has kind of kept momentum. It's really hard to make that transition, and like it's very Dolph Ziggler-y. It's like a new take on like the hi, I'm Dolph Ziggler, nice to meet you. But instead of shaking people's hands, he's doing these like phone shots, camera shots, taking photos.
The selfies are great. And oh my God, hold on. What's my guy? I'm looking his name up really quickly. Jesus, the Scottish guy who's the interviewer.
Oh. Well, current or
current? The dude.
I'm
looking at him. Hold on. Kevin Patrick.
Okay.
I finally realized I caught it. He's been squatting down when he interviews people. I've been watching. I was like, he's taller than everybody there. And when they did the Austin Theory thing with Rey Mysterio and Dominic, he's just squatting down. The camera pulls out and they just shows him squatting and interviewing Austin Theory.
I have to go back and watch this. I didn't catch that. But that's yeah.
I'm sorry. It's been bugging me for months. I was like, he's tall. Because I remember one time I saw R-Truth push him down to like, hey, man, you're making me look short. He's tall, and he's been squatting and interviewing people.
Hey, you do what you got to do to keep the bread on the table, EJ.
I want them to know that I saw it.
All right. Well, we're wrapping up here for today. EJ, this was a wonderful day of pro wrestling punditry. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Come back tomorrow. Today we had GCW owner Brett Lauderdale. Chef's Kiss, wonderful interview. Tomorrow on the show, I think we're going to have Filthy Tom Lawler on. I'm debating between Tom and maybe somebody else. We'll see what happens. But definitely another big interview tomorrow. Thursday, by the way, we're going to have the full audio from the WWE Q3 investor call with Vince McMahon. And I think Nick Khan will be on that and Steph. So that's a little tease for later in the week as well. And if you like this show, support WrestlingInc.com. We're on all your socials. And, of course, the Wrestling Podcast goes live at night after all the big shows, including tonight after NXT. EJ, what do you want to put over here before we wrap up the show today?
Oh, man, y'all. Keep being kind. Excuse me. Stay warm. It's getting cool and cold out. Be nice. Wash your hands. Take care. Check in with your loved ones. Go love on people. Santa's watching officially.
Go love on people. I love it. Yes, I am at Nick_Hausman over on Twitter. I also encourage you to go love on somebody. It's always a good time. Whatever. Respectfully. I will talk to you tomorrow. And remember, if you winked, you didn't miss it.